Good evening, everyone, at 5:25. Call to order Mount Vernon Village School Board meeting. We appreciate everybody on our SAU staff, NA, and also board members for being here tonight on a very snowy and slippery night. So we thank you for doing that. And Sarah online and Tom online as well as of right now. We do have some time deadlines tonight, so we are going to move through the agenda quite quickly. We do have public input, one of two. We have no audience members. And Mr. Chamberlain, I believe we have nobody online aside from our principal and board member, correct?
That is correct.
So the next is the consent agenda. We have unanticipated revenue of 601 and also another unanticipated revenue of 255. And also item number 3 on the consent agenda is the minutes from the December 4th meeting. And I will take a motion to accept those 3 elements of the consent agenda.
I will make a motion to accept. I will second.
Second, all those in favor?
We have to do roll call.
Roll call.
Has to be
because
roll
Sarah,
call.
Sorry. Yeah.
And
Sarah,
I am at home alone and unable to attend in person.
Perfect. And you can start the voting.
Lawrence, yes.
Hinckley, yes.
Stogan, yes. Torres, yes.
Eckhoff, yes. Passes 5-0. Next, we have the January principals report, and we're gonna postpone that to our next meeting, but encourage any board member with questions for Tom to reach out directly. Same scenario with our item number 2, which is the Amherst Middle School report. We will stop at item number 3, which is the Mount Vernon facilities update, and I'll hand it over to Mr. Chamberlain for an update.
Do you want to do that lower in the agenda? I think that's
Oh, okay.
Roger's report.
Yes.
Okay. So that facilities report will push into February. If there's anything, again, reach out to Roger directly. And then the nutrition services projections. Did we have any questions regarding the lunch program?
We'll hit those when we do the FY24 budget update.
Okay. And good segue, a budget update. And Amy, do you have something for us?
I'll start it and then
Okay.
Amy can fill in or kick me on the table.
Okay.
So at the public hearing last week, we talked about the establishment of contingency fund. We talked about the pressure that we're currently under in FY24. So we've had some unanticipated expenses. We like the revenue side. We don't love the unanticipated expenses. Just to jog everybody's memory, we had to do a mid-year hire, which ended up being not insignificantly higher than the one they replaced, and some benefit changes there. We've had, and we'll talk more about this in non-public, but we've had a couple of situations in which our legal budget is going to be stressed and probably won't cover our anticipated needs in the legal area. We also, in part of taking a look at the contingency fund and the revenue regarding the public hearing, we took a look at projections on the food service deficit. Last year at this time, we were projecting about 20,000 deficit. This year, it's about 28,000.
Yeah.
Now, it's an ish. This Amy supports this kind of ish because it's a projection. But it's 40% higher than last year. So it's something that we're looking at, especially when there is pressure on the fund balance. And what I alluded to, remember, we had to close school because of the well issue in our in our septic system. That actually came in under $1,000. So that is, it could have been, when you close school and bring emergency water people and plumbing people. And I would be worried it was going to go 2 to 5. It ended up, so that is a little bit less.
Yeah.
But because of some pressure on our legal funding, pressure on food service, and the mid-year hiring, something that we can think about is freezing the budget. Doesn't have to be decided tonight. This is really something I want you to, and if there's any information we can provide in the next meeting, but it's just our fiduciary to inform the board. One of the things that we'll have at the next meeting is some comps regarding lunch prices. We didn't raise them this year. It's not unusual. It's currently $3, I believe, per lunch. We do about 100 lunches a day.
$3.50.
The $3.50?
paying $350.
We appreciate the extra $20 I was here.
It's in the handbook.
If it is $350, then we probably won't recommend, but we are gonna get some comps, we're gonna bring it back, 100 meals a day. Over 80 days, you know, if we did a quarter, it would be a couple of $1,000. Which would be projected to lower the food service deficit, as I talked about in the public hearing. No one really, in small schools, you don't really expect the food service program to be solvent, because they don't negotiate salary, they don't negotiate benefits, and it's the most regulated part of what we do. I always say jokingly, you can't sell enough tater tots to pay for health insurance for our employees. But with the perfect storm of legal, mid-year hiring, food service deficit, of pressure on the fund balance, it's something I think in a month we'll continue projecting. We'll have more projections in a month. Just think about the board. Now, some things on the good side is the board, with their wisdom, supported the establishment of a health insurance benefit fund. So the mid-year hire, which did switch the health, that could come out of that fund. That could, right? So that's something good. So just it's not a tonight thing, but it is something I want you to start mulling around.
It is $3, so there may be some a la carte purchases being made.
Is the meal 50 cents? Or is it
That
included?
comes in,
No,
comes with a
that's
meal.
included. Breakfast is $175 and lunch is $3.
To get a little extra dessert, maybe?
Yeah.
Come on, we love
Well, no,
that.
I got one kid that's getting double every day. so-
Oh, it's probably a double.
Oh,
That's
is it?
more for a double portion, maybe.
Oh, okay.
That's what it might be.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
we're gonna bring comps, we're gonna look at comp sizes, New Boston, we're gonna look at Dunbarton, right? We're gonna see what they charge, and one of the things that Amy and I mess around with sometimes is some districts do not put the food service director's salary in the food service line, they call it administrative line. So in this district, the apportionment of Crystal's salary, right, is added
Yes.
to the budget. But Amy's absolutely correct, that there is different approaches to that. The town I live in did not include the food service director in the salary. They didn't ask to sell tater tots to cover the administrator overseas, just the daily expenses. The town where I worked in, we put all food service related in the budget and ran the deficit. And the deficit was always pretty close to actually the salary of the person.
Yeah.
And there isn't, and Amy's right, there isn't a hard and fast rule. Some people put all the expenses in there, and some say it's administrator.
Yeah.
You know, even though she does serve tater tots sometimes because she's
Yeah.
hands-on. So we'll just leave it at that, but think about this, but we'll come back with some more recommendations next month.
So what's driving the increase in the deficit this year?
Yeah, a few things. So I'm wondering if the food service projected memo didn't make it into their packet. It was a late ad. So
I don't know.
if it wasn't sent out with board notes, I would recommend that we have a deeper discussion at the next board
Yeah,
meeting, because
it was-
we have
I
a
think it's
whole,
40%
yeah, we have a whole memo
material.
that was prepared.
The board knows
The
what came
memo
up.
was in the revised packet.
It was in the revised packet?
Yes.
Okay, good. But if it only came out today, I'm,
No, the packet
Board knows came up today.
ordinance came up with.
What page, Sarah?
Hang on, I just read it. I have to exit the screen. Give me one sec.
so I can just give you some highlights.
Oh, yeah, I think it's on.
Primarily due to the ongoing increase in the cost of goods and services. We have some labor costs related to a staffing issue. The federal reimbursement rates decreased by 12 cents per paid breakfast, 37 for paid lunch, 8 cents for reduced price and free lunch. So those are the biggest reasons. So,
Page
Yeah.
44.
yeah.
Thank you.
And increase labor costs. You know, it'd be nice to have a more of a detailed thing, not that it makes the
So-
decision any different, right?
Sure.
Compared to
So,
last year.
yeah, there's a whole spreadsheet of projections that's attached.
Oh, okay,
Um,
sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the staffing issue isn't one that we should probably discuss publicly, but there is something that is affecting expenses.
What's,
So, but yeah, she did a projection going out through the end of the year. And also did a meals sold and participation rate data year over.
Good.
So she's, had some ideas for how to mitigate this. We're looking at cutting back some staffing hours, cutting back purchases. She's working hands-on with the kitchen manager to try to be more effective in meals that are prepared, to cut back expenses. And we have another potential grant, a supply chain grant, and once we know what that is, we use that to offset food costs. We can only use it for perishable items, but we do directly apply that, so.
And we haven't seen an increase there for 2 years, correct? It's been $3 for 2 years, I think.
Increase in,
What we're
Costs.
charging and the cost for $3.
Thought we increased it the year before.
the year before,
We increased it to $3 last school year
yeah,
and kept
And
it at
kept it.
$3 for this. I
this
believe it was
Yeah.
$2.85 before
Yeah,
that, or
that's right.
around there-ish.
So it's been about a year and a half, and we've certainly been seeing increases
Yep.
on.
Yeah.
So makes sense to me. Okay.
Yep. and that recommendations for nuts. Year or mid-year. Potentially like to consider it for this year, but I know it's something the board probably wants to think about and discuss at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Duly noted from all of us.
Yep.
Thank you, Steve. Next on our agenda is the facility committee update. And again, I'll go back to Mr. Chamberlain for an update on our building facility.
Sure, so we put an RFP, we had 2 respondents, and we've now received presentations from both. We are trying to collect both presentations and we can distribute that. Thank you to the board and everybody for their participation. Just a brief discussion, our hope is in the February meeting is to award the contract. The plan, I think, would be to review all the score sheets from everybody who participated and do reference checks. And then if there isn't if there is, that information gives us a clear cut favorite, then we'll work with the board on that one. And if it seems like it's still 50-50, then we can talk about site visits. Reference checks and individual feedback and see where that goes first. And then if there is an overwhelming choice, then we'll make that have recommendation of the board. And if it's 50-50, then we'll look at a site visit. Is that fair for our next steps?
Absolutely.
So I'll make sure I will prompt the facility committee to make sure I collect all those score sheets. And, Mike can do some soups. I can do some assistance. Tom can do a principal that worked with somebody. And we'll go ahead and Roger do a facility that worked with the 2, and we'll do some reference checks. But if all goes well, we'll have a recommendation to the board. And also, Mike and I would like to sit down and just pick her brain about making sure we have the right criteria. And if there's anything, she is just such an incredible resource. I know Mike and I both learned from her, so I think we'd also like to sit down with her in the next week or so and pick her brain about make sure we're hitting all the areas that we need to.
They were gonna send us a school list too, that if we wanted to do
Yeah. At
a
least,
visit.
yeah, and those will work for reference checks too.
Good.
Yeah, but Mike and I and Amy can call BA and Roger and Tom, between all of us, I think we could hit some reference checks. Between Parker and here.
Sure.
Cool beans?
And these are just the architects, it's not a bid build, it's just basically design service.
Right, this is the design phase, and they'll work with us to go construction management or whatever approach you want, but right, this is to design, and then the next step is to obtain a costing. But yeah, mostly this will be design.
Yeah, because historically it's usually runs cheaper with forgot what they call it, CMR, so it's cost management proposals where it's just bid, build, and all in one firm. You get a little bit more flexibility if you just go with a design as opposed to a bid build, but we'll see what they come up with and what the costs look like, because a lot of numbers we have some particular projects and they could be pretty material, the differential between a bid build and just design services.
Yeah, that, you're exactly right. We worked with the architect to determine what it was the best course of action. that provides for this project. Is it working closely with the construction manager? Is it bid built?
Right.
But we'll work with them on that. But I thought both were very professional, very excited to work with us and have a portfolio of similar type jobs. So I think we're in really good shape.
Any questions? Sarah, you all set?
Yeah, I'm all set. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next agenda item is the board preparing for the deliberative session. I know we had our public hearing last week. Amy has shared with me tonight before the new numbers and top to bottom, if you want, if we decide we were gonna jump in or
Yeah,
just leave it for discussion.
so I think Steve's gonna pull it up. And yeah, I have a draft for the deliberative session that has all the updated numbers, so we can skip through some of it. because
Okay.
We don't need it all, but, we can probably go right into the operating budget review. And that has the warrant article on slide 16.
You want to try?
And I can share it with the whole board.
My
too.
dongle, Steve, do you want to see that?
Some of it's pulled up.
I know yours was one. Before.
This. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Sure. It's currently being worked on, so.
It's being a little cranky pants. Okay,
There we go. So, yeah, so this reflects the change that was made at the public hearing to reduce the operating budget by $12,000, which was 7,000 from facilities for the air compressor that is gonna live a little bit longer. And a $5,000 reduction in the transfer for food service. So this is the numbers. I took out the board vote in case you all wanted to vote again, since you have a full membership, so. But it was voted on at public hearing by the board. 3-0.
So given we've got all five, we should do another.
Yeah.
We should do a vote on this. And what, are there any questions, Sarah, or anybody on the rest of the board, any questions with the updated numbers?
Not for me.
Tax impact of not passing this article seems to be incorrect. Is it really 66 cents if it's not passed?
Yes, that is what the tax impact would be if it goes to default.
So there's a 30 cent difference?
Yep.
It only counts for $100,000?
yep.
So it's based on the valuation
No,
of the town.
I understand it.
Yeah.
The percentages just don't hit for me, so I don't know.
Yeah, we can review it again. That's how it calculated out, but certainly can look at it again.
So like the amount that was like 50,000 in the warrant article, the tax impact was, I forget,
Was 15 cents.
15 cents, so
Yeah, yeah.
So 30 cents
another
per 100,000.
another
You're right.
50 is 30, so
Yeah.
you're right there, so it's very similar math.
Yeah.
So this is a motion to reconsider,
Mhm.
and it has to be made by someone who was here in the affirmative.
Okay, I'll accept the motion to accept Article 2. Say that again. So
Reconsider
I'll
Article 2.
reconsider Article 2 as revised by Ms. Vacy.
So I was here, so I will make said motion.
I will second.
Roll call vote, Sarah?
Lawrence, yes.
Hinckley, yes.
Stover, yes.
George, yes.
Eckhoff, yes. Passes 5-0.
Great.
We're
All
gonna
right,
repeat
and then
that.
you can go to the contingency fund, which is on slide 34.
Same thing, reconsider.
Take a motion to reconsider Article 3, which is the contingency fund.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
Take a roll call vote. Ms. Lawrence,
Lawrence, yes.
Hinckley, yes.
Stover, yes.
Storage, yes.
Eckhoff, yes. Passes 5-0.
Thank you. And then slide 36, which is the property maintenance fund.
I'll accept a motion to reconsider Article 4, the Property Maintenance Fund, as presented.
I'll make said motion.
I'll second.
Take a roll call vote. Sarah,
Lawrence, yes.
Hinckley, yes.
Stover, yes.
Storage, yes.
Eckhoff, yes. Article 4 passes 5-0.
And then slide 38 is the newly named special education fund.
I will take a motion to reconsider as presented Article 5, the Special Education Fund.
I'll make said motion.
I'll second.
Roll call vote. Sarah,
Lawrence, yes.
Hinckley, yes.
Stover, yes.
Storage, yes.
Eckhoff, yes. Passes 5-0.
Thank you. And then slide 40 is the health and dental insurance fund.
I'll take a motion to accept reconsider Article 6, which is the Health and Dental Insurance Fund as presented.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
Roll call vote. Sarah,
Lawrence, yes.
Hinckley, yes.
Stover, yes.
Storage, yes.
Eckhoff, yes. It passes 5-0.
And then slide 42.
Shouldn't say passes, it's accepted 5-0.
Recommended.
Recommended 5-0.
Yep.
Passes is not the right term. I apologize.
Okay.
Take it.
And
I'll
then
Take
slide,
a, oh, go ahead.
sorry, is 42 is the technology fund.
And I will take a motion to accept, reconsider Article 7, which is our technology fund as presented.
I'll make said motion.
I'll second.
Roll call vote. Sarah,
Lawrence, yes.
Hinckley, yes.
Stover, yes.
Storage, yes.
Eckhoff, yes. Accepted by 5-0.
Thank you. Yes, and I'll just add that I've been in communication with the budget committee. They were supposed to meet tomorrow night, however, they had to reschedule. They are going to meet next Tuesday to vote on the warrant articles, so we'll have your warrant complete on Tuesday.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Real quick question, how did we settle on 30,000 on the contingency fund?
Public input.
Public input, based upon what, run rate or like?
This year, we were looking at
More.
something like $50,000, so we started it there with the committee.
We wound up selling on 30.
They thought it was the first time doing it.
First time we're setting up, okay, so we'll see how that.
It's more likely that the public will accept it was one of the arguments.
Right,
Yeah,
makes sense.
As opposed to the, why not, it's only 25 or 20 or.
Better have something than none.
Right, that was it.
Yeah, there was some,
Believe me, I know.
a little bit of pushback.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We're up to our second of 2 public inputs. Mr. Chamberlain, is anybody online?
Sir.
I will segue to Mr. Barry to see if you have anything you wanted to cover aside from going into non-public. Okay, so at this point, I'll accept a motion to exit our meeting and go into non-public.
I'll make a motion to go down.
Oh, sorry.
Roll call vote. Sarah,
Lawrence, yes.
Yes.
Stover, yes.
Storage, yes.
Eckhoff, yes. At 5:48, we will now go into non-public.